Welcome to Violin Adventures number 160. Okay, we're back working on our ancient Italian. And remember this top with no good tone in it. And I was listening for this, there's still a little buzz, and I found it. It is the middle seam is open right up here on the top. It's open just a little bit for about that much. So that's going to be a improvement in helping this tone get better, is getting that middle seam closed back up. I have to say, this is very rare to have these middle seams come open. You can see violins from maybe 300 or 400 years old and the middle seam doesn't come open. Now, regarding this top, some of you cannot stand these sound holes. And some of you can't stand the tone, which you're absolutely right. There's no tone in this piece of cardboard. But I'll show you just a little bit here. So the curl in these sound holes, they're not real easy to cut without this breaking off. So I admire that they were able to make that curve and keep all this wood in there. So here we have a Stradivari on the right side and a Motti on the left. And you can see more of the curve that goes around here. This is an earlier style where he curves around a little more than Strad, who kind of comes straight down to a point and up. And this comes down and around more with a curve in it. So this is an Amati from 1649, and this is a Strad from 1716. And this one is a copy of an old Stainer. And here again you can kind of see this curve that goes around rather than Strad, which comes straight down to a point. So we can see a little bit of this style in the violin that we're looking at. Let's go back in time and look at some pictures. Here we have this curl that comes around up here. This one is more like the other one, and this is a Tommaso Carcassi. I really don't know how to pronounce that. Here's another one with that kind of curl. And there's the maker. So we're looking at the 1700s and maybe even earlier 1600s with this kind of style before Stradivari came and made his beautiful, elegant sound holes. And this violin, it's much more exaggerated. So at this point, I'm just going to say this violin is unique because of its sound holes. I challenge you. You're wondering, how do I know it's an Italian? Well, there were three things, and a combination of things, but mainly three things that I look at. And can you figure out what they are? Three things that would tell me it's an Italian. Put them in the comments below. We definitely need to let this dry for 24 hours. So in the meantime, we're going to get over to the cello and see if we can get some purfling going. Okay, it's time to start on the purfling. So here's my tools. I like to use a few different knives to cut the channels. Here's my purfling marker where I'll scribe around the edge. And here's my little pick to pick out the wood in the channel. And then I've got a whole set of cello purfling here. So let's get started. Now, to tell you a little secret, it usually takes me probably at least a week to get the purfling channel cut all the way around, and then inserting the purfling. It's a lot of work on your hands. I did get a little cheating machine. I got me a little Dremel type tool that will cut the channel for me But when I get to the corners, I put this down and I do it by hand the original way, because the corners are like your signatures. Besides, you can't get the nice flare in the corners with a tool. You have to put it in by hand. So okay, I'm going to show you how I do the corner here. And this is just a rough idea, because once I get the knife in there, I'll be adjusting it if I see any little irregularities. Then we're working on the Italian violin. Okay, it has been 24 hours. Let's take this clamp off and see if the tone is better. Okay, the tone is coming up. There's a little more power. Okay, I've been really studying this violin. It's still part of a mystery to me. Some things don't just line up, but looking at the dimensions and everything, I'm trying to figure and just think about what would be the best course to go. And especially here in the sound post area, there are little tiny surface cracks all around where the bridge foot was. So I probably am going to go ahead and inlay a small sound post patch, just to make sure that that area is strong enough. It's also extra thin right here, so it needs just a little bit of a buildup, but we don't want very much at all. So I'm probably going to go ahead here. I'm really grateful the owner of this violin says there's no rush. So I want to just take my time and think about each thing I do to try to bring some life back to this violin. I have to say, years and years ago, I did a repair on an old violin similar to this. Maybe not this old, but it did not have any life in it at all. But when we got it all finished, it sounded glorious. So I'm just hoping that this repair will be the same way. We'll see. Okay, I need some chalk in order to fit this bass bar. And I used up the chalk I had out in order to fit the cello bass bar. So in what drawer do you think the chalk is located? Okay, in all these hundreds of drawers, where do you think the chalk is? Well, there's a lot of little drawers here. Let's keep going. Which one has the chalk in it? Let's check this one out. There it is. There's our chalk. Didn't take too long. I got a good fit on the bass bar. But I don't want to glue it in yet because I've been thinking about the sound post patch area that we want to put in here. And so I'm going to put that in first so that the bass bar doesn't get in the way of the clamp. So I'm going to take the bass bar out and work real quick on a sound post patch. Okay, we have the sound post patch fit, and we're going to glue that in. And okay, we need to let this dry for a good long time, and then we can put in this bass bar. Okay, we just got another package in the mail, and let's open it up and see what this instrument needs. Looks like someone made a box, and it's very nicely made. All right, here's a beautiful letter from the owner of this violin, and he's giving us the permission to do whatever we need to do. Thank you for this letter. Okay, it's a great old case, nice and heavy and sturdy. Okay, I'm gonna look this over and see what we can do to bring this violin back to life again. You can see it's a beautiful one-piece back. And here on the button right here, the last repair on the neck, someone clamped it so hard that you can see an indentation right there. And we don't need to clamp instruments that hard. Okay, we have here a beautiful violin from France, and as noted before, this neck is way too low, so we're gonna take this neck out and reset it. And then on the top here, we have some cracks that have been repaired, but there may not be any cleats. We're gonna check that out. Also, over here is a crack just above the F hole that is open. So we're going ahead to open up this violin, working on getting the neck out. It does not want to come out. And back here where there was an indentation where someone had clamped it really hard and caused an indentation, that area is very fragile. So I got the fingerboard off, which wasn't hard. Okay, there's some rattling in the top. By the way, this is a nice bass bar, but very small. We can improve on that definitely. When I tap it, there is a buzz in the top. So we know right here the middle seam is open. We can see that none of the cracks have been cleated. Okay, in cleaning out the back, I see that the lower block is loose. Actually, if we look up close, the lower block has been cracked. And instead of replacing the block, they just put a patch on it. The crack is still open. So I think we need to replace this block definitely. Here's the inside of our French violin. This bass bar is very small, so we can definitely give it more power with a better bass bar. Along here is the crack that was repaired from the outside, so I'll clean up this glue and see about cleaning it. So this is the top. You can see this crack that runs down here. There's two there, and then another one runs right through the foot of the bridge. We need to get right in here a nice sound post patch. They did here on the other side, they did a really good job repairing this crack, putting it right back together, but there is no support. And here is the lower block. And you can see there's a crack in the lower block this way and this way, and there may be some under this glue. So this is very naughty. We don't just cover up cracks, we repair them, right? So we're going to take this block out and replace it. You can see here there's a patch over the area, which is not fine. I want also this block is loose, so it's coming out. Uh-oh, we found another crack over here. Now we have to do something about that too. And there's another crack right here. What is going on? It could be that when they put the blocks in, the wood wasn't aged enough, and so it cracked over time. I don't know. So I finally got the neck out, which was a little bit of a struggle. When I would put my knife down between the button and the neck, I would feel movement on this back side right here. And as I look at it, there's some kind of patch or repair here in the same area that the clamp had pressed down and made an indent. So we have little tiny cracks up here in the area of where this clamp was. Now that I have the neck off, I can see why the neck had been tilting forward, because it had a good fit up here on the top, but not a good fit down here. So up here on the top, it was glued down well, but down here, a lot of empty space. Okay, we're going to glue the fingerboard on nice and straight. This is interesting. If you look close at this label, it appears to be typed, not the signature, but the rest of it has little indentions where the keys would have hit the paper. The Italian violin. Okay, we're going to take the clamps off of this sound post patch on our Italian violin. Blade needs to be sharpened because it is not doing its job. Okay, we've got the sound post patch down in our Italian violin, and the next thing I want to do is get that bass bar in. Already we are starting to hear a little bit of tone. It still has a bit of a cardboard sound, but there's more tone coming out. So next is the bass bar. And we have it ready. We just need to get the glue on and get the clamps out, and here we go. We're going to let this dry over the weekend and come back to it, Lord willing, Monday morning. Yoshev Baseter Alion Batsel Shaddai Yitlonan. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High, he will abide under the shadow or in the shadow of the Almighty. If you know where this is found, please leave it in the comments below.
Hi, I'm Freddie, and I'm so excited because I got 5 pictures. I got 5 pictures to show in my section of. On the first one, these are from Mr. Gerald Edson. He made these violins. Wow!
This is Mr. Gerald's 4th violin. The top is made of tightly grained spruce and the back of lightly flamed maple.
He made these violins. Wow! The next pictures are from my other friend, Mr. Timothy Winters. And he is in his study writing a book. So here it is.
He's typing up a good story, and here he's holding a violin that he made also.
Well, thank you everyone for sending in your pictures. I'm so happy and excited, and don't forget to send me some more. Bye!
Wow, look at this beautiful Friday afternoon. We had some rain last night. The sky is a beautiful blue. And off in the distance you can see an orange tree over there. Anyway, let's go inside and see what's going on. Here we are inside the shop. All work has ceased. Let's see where we're going to take off next week. Here's the cello. We've got the channels almost all cut. But we're going to put this on hold because we need to concentrate on, this is our French violin. We've got the fingerboard on straight here. We'll need to get upper and lower blocks replaced. And then we'll replace this bass bar and get this closed up again. Over here is the Italian violin, and we have now the bass bar drying over the weekend. And then we need to get an upper block in here before we close this up. Diamond in the rough is still hanging out over here. If we get a chance, we might get this set up. Now I'd love to get a shout out to Mr. Thomas Pinch. He is one of our subscribers and one of our friends who comments in the comments below, and he has started his own channel. Beautiful organ music and beautiful photographs. So, if you would like, please run over and subscribe to his channel, Mr. Thomas Pinch, and I will leave a link to his channel in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your support, for the thumbs up and the wonderful comments in the comment section. We'll see you next time. Bye.